Check in. Good luck. Have fun. Okay. So we are in round 2 of the Mythic Society weekly vintage event. Currently 1-0. We're now playing against Slasher. Slasher is on looks just like a Jeskai Xerox deck with 1 Hold Breacher, couple Dazes. Pretty standard. Mystic Sanctuary has a couple interesting sideboard cards, but nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. Just a pretty standard Jeskai list. So we are playing turn 1 Titania dot deck. Let's battle. You think they're gonna counter? Oh, should we? This is unfortunate though. If we don't play it off of Cavern, we can't bring back a land. Or sorry, if we play it off of Cavern, we can't bring back a land. And it can die to Lightning Bolt, which... How many Lightning Bolts and Swords did my opponent play? Like, maybe we play it on turn 2. 2 Swords, 1 Lightning Bolt. It's not very many. I think we would rather just play turn 1 Deathray Shaman. And then on the next turn, we can go Cavern Titania and bring back the Verdant Catacombs. Also don't have to use our Spirit Guide in that way. Unfortunately, this is an Elemental and this is an Elf Shaman, so we have no overlap there. Okay, I think I'm gonna do what we said. I'm gonna do the turn 1 Deathrite Shaman. I'm not gonna... Opponent is not on a Wasteland deck, so I'm just gonna grab Savannah. Maybe there should just be 1 Bayou in this deck. I feel like that's probably fair. Obviously, if we wait and our Black Lotus resolves, then our Titania is always going to bring back Verdant Catacombs, and a lot of the times we'll also get another 5/3 with it if they don't have an immediate removal spell. So I think it definitely makes sense to wait, and you definitely want to sequence your Lotus before your Cavern. That way, opponent doesn't know you have a Cavern, and they're less likely to counter your Lotus. Is this going to be... Oh, should I have played Black Lotus this turn because I'm going to get Lavinia'd? That's kind of unfortunate. I misplayed, chat. I didn't think about this. I guess I have a Caracas, so it doesn't matter. But I have to wait 1 more turn. I do think I want my Lotus... I do think I want my... I do think I want my Titania to be uncounterable. Maybe we don't need it to be uncounterable. Maybe we bounce this and see if the Lotus resolves first. Because I do think we should just play the Lotus out. The only downside to that would be if opponent plays a Dak Fading on the next turn, which is kind of which would be a pretty big downside, so maybe we don't want to do that either. At the very least, we should definitely play a Caracas this turn, and... 1, 2... I could play a Knight of the Autumn as a 4/3. Not the end of the world. They're on Jeskai normal cards. I think we should just play this beater right now. With our Elvish Spirit Guide, I think. Oh, maybe I should have played around Daze? No, it's okay if they Daze. I'm okay with that. This is just a 4/3, but I think it's fine. I'm gonna hold this Lotus. I think holding the Lotus makes more sense. Yeah, this is fine. I'm gonna choose to put 2 counters on this thing. A very powerful vintage play. I play a 3-mana 4/3. Our deck is only capable of powerful vintage plays. All right, let's see what opponent does here. Preordain makes sense. Excuse me. This is a legendary? Oh, wow. We have Caracas protection for our Titania. Oh, wow. Okay. Hold up. Wait a minute. Brainstorm with Fetchland? Brainstorm with Fetchland, that's fine because we have an active cavern. All right, so I think what I want to do is I'm going to just start with an attack and see what happens. Ooh, a Thalia as well. Interesting. Interesting. Let's attack first, though. Let's see what happens if we attack first. 4 is a lot of damage. I don't know about the lock, per se. Let's see if this Black Lotus resolves. It probably will. We have a bunch of mana at this point, to be honest. I can't imagine they would counter it. All right, so Cavern on Elemental. Is there any reason? No, yeah, this is perfect. They can't counter this. I get back my Verdant Catacomb. Uh-oh, what's this mean? I have Caracas to bounce it. I can replay it. All right, bring back my Catacomb. All right, I'm going to just bounce this back to my hand. I still get my Verdant Catacombs. And then we should just play the Thalia. I wanted to see if I could bait a removal spell on the other card first. Definitely good to eat land out of opponent's yards, keep their yard low for delve. All right, slam a Thalia. They could force this, obviously, but I think that's fine as well. They had a Force of Negation and a Force of Will, so they could have hit the Lotus which is a good reason why we sequenced the way we did with our Cavern. Obviously, next turn we still have play a land, get Titania, and bring back Verdant Catacombs, though that would use our Caracas unless they choose to fetch, which they did. I think that's fine, though. So opponent's going to put back Swords to Plowshares, I would assume. Yeah, makes sense. They have a Dack Faden, maybe. We know they have a Lavinia still, right? They still have a Lavinia in their hand, as well as a Gush. Gush puts them back a couple turns, though. I'm not super thrilled with the Gush play from our opponent here. We don't really care about Lavinia. It was only the Black Lotus. So we're in pretty good shape. Oh, they used the swords on the Deathrite Shaman. Okay, so if they find Lightning Bolt here, they do answer our Titania. And Lavinia actually stops this Emerald. It's kind of funny. All right, let's start with an attack. If they have their one Lightning Bolt, we get pretty punished for playing our Titania on this turn. I guess there's no reason not to bounce the Lavinia and play the Emerald. I wanted to see if they would block with the Lavinia. That way we can play the Emerald and still be able to hold open Caracas. I guess they could counter the Emerald. That would be fine as well. Playing an Emerald does let them steal it with a Dack, but they're at 8 life, so... They do know we have Titania, so they might counter this. I think that would be fine, though. All right, I'm gonna run in. If they have their one sort Lightning Bolt, obviously we get a little wrecked here. All right, they don't have it. If they had it, all right, so we should just fetch now and get a 5/3. I guess we can fetch at any point and get a 5/3 because this is when it hits the yard, and it hits the yard as part of the cost. Okay, good to know. Should we just get a Dryad Arbor? Kind of seems like there's no reason not to. All right, we have a pretty substantial board here. Titania looks pretty good as an uncounterable threat against Jeskai. They also put themselves down on lands to Gush, so they have to answer multiple attackers here. Vintage. Opponent says, vintage staple, Titania. Protector of Argoth. Let's go. This one goes on Twitter. This one goes on Twitter. Oh, that's great. That's absolutely fantastic. That is exactly what I wanted to see out of my Titania. All right, so are any of these cards good against Jeskai? I mean, we're already a little pre-boarded for Jeskai, to be perfectly honest. Our deck is pretty well set up to play a battle versus Jeskai. Do you guys think we want anything? No, unfortunately, Lavinia is asymmetrical. Does not work that way. You would think it would be a symmetrical card, but it is not. Exactly, Dan. I think that it's really nice to have this kind of F&M style low stakes weekly event where I can play some nonsense. I mean, it's kind of like a league, right? But I kind of like playing these events a little bit more than a league. I'm not a super league fan. So I think it's nice. I definitely like the idea. I'm definitely down to play in all 4 events for December, and hopefully we can keep the traction going and continue into the next year. That'd be pretty cool. Anyways, do we want any of these cards versus Jeskai? Maybe Deafening Silence instead of things like Collector Oof. And yeah, they run Dread Horde, so technically you could play like Surgical or Cage or something. We have a Bajuka Bog in our deck, though. I mean, this card isn't great against our opponent. It does stop their fetch lands, but it also stops our fetch lands, so... Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out like, which cards is it better than. I feel like probably better than Knight of Autumn, maybe. And maybe it's better than the Boar. It could be better than the Boar, I could say. I could see it being better than the Boar, maybe. Maybe like these 3, like... creatures that don't do very much in the matchup, it's better to just have some Deafening Silences to slow my opponent's game plan down. Boar stops Force of Will? Ah, fuck it. Boar is in. 2 Deafening Silences. I did not realize this stopped Force of Will. I'm all about the Boar now. Boar is in. Submit. I like this Boar, honestly. It stops Doomsday, right? To be fair, we could have played our 5 mana 5/3 on turn 1. So Doomsday doesn't actually pay life? This is the worst. This is the worst outcome. What about Necropotence? We stopped Necropotence, right? All right, so in this hand, we've got 1 land, 3 Once Upon a Times, which is a lot of Once Upon a Times. Stop Street Wraith, fair. Oh, I'm live. If I'm playing Magic Online, I am typically live. Just don't have the willpower to play when I'm not live. What do you guys think about this hand? I'm not thrilled with the idea. It's a lot of Once Upon a Times. Boar stops my clues is true statement, and my fetches and my Horizon Canopy paying mana. We won't get locked with Thalia, but with our current hand, we probably do actually get locked with Thalia. Shit. It's not the worst hand I've ever seen.
I am act winning.
It's not great. I have 4 minutes before I disconnect due to inactivity. Jesus. Yo, Jerry, what up? Powerful Wizard. Jerry, welcome back. All right, I know I have 4 minutes. All right, I'm gonna mulligan. Well, we have Once Upon a Time and a dry. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it. It's greedy. It's a little greedy. It's small greed. There's a small amount of greed happening, but I think it's fine. I think it's a reasonable hand. We've kept worse hands. We've definitely kept worse hands. It's going okay. That's not the draw we were looking for. Jeez. All right, Once Upon a Time. Does this resolve? Obviously, I ran it straight into a Force of Negation. I think that's fine. Ooh, wow. Ooh, should we just take this Deathrite Shaman and go Deathrite Shaman, and then Elvish Spirit Guide, Green Sun Zenith, Dryad Arbor. Is that the play? Is that the play? It seems like the play to me. Kind of like that play. Kind of like that play. Let's battle. Let's do that play. Should I just Green Sun Zenith first? Or should we Dryad Arbor first? Let's just try. Let's Deathrite Shaman first. Deathrite Shaman first. Obviously, we could answer Daze with this. All right, I think I want to cast this for 0. Buyback. All right, they're gonna force the Green Sun Zenith. Interesting. I would have considered forcing Deathrite Shaman, but we got a Dak Faden and a Force of Will off that, so I'm down. I am a little sad because that means that I do not have multiple lands, which is a problem. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's kind of a problem. I didn't actually look at their sideboard. Are they playing more removal? Oh shit, they brought in 2 more Swords to Plowshare. So they're on 4 Swords to Plowshare, 1 Lightning Bolt. 4 Swords to Plowshares, 1 Lightning Bolt. All right, that's a lot of Swords to Plowshare, though. We might be doing a lot of farming this game. It's a possibility that our elves may become farmers. And our soldiers may also become farmers. And our boars might also become farmers. All right, Dreadhoard's pretty good. But I do have an active Deathrite Shaman, though I don't have an active black mana. Maybe we do have a problem, chat. Maybe we needed a. Oh, wait a second. Say it ain't so. Should we just hit the Brainstorm? Should we just hit the Brainstorm? Alright, fuck it. Hit the Brainstorm. If they have a swords, they get to cast 2 swords anyways, so not much I can do about that. But now we have the black mana, so if they have a swords not this turn, then we can maybe hit the swords with our Deathrite Shaman. But if they have a swords this turn, then they just swords both of our creatures, and we're sad. But we got rid of the brain. Alright, we lost both of our creatures, and we're sad. Which is fair. That does happen from time to time. Oh, they didn't Brainstorm, so probably a win. And oh, come on now. Why you like that? All right, I think we're supposed to cast Once Upon a Time here. I'm doing it on my turn because in case I hit a land drop, I got dazed. Whatever, I don't give a shit. Fine. I can stop 1/2 of Ancestral for 6. I hope they don't have a Preordain. They only have 2 cards left. How could they possibly have a Bro, wow. Ancestral for 6. I hate Xerox. I really hate the Jeskai deck. It's really lame. Really lame deck. At least they only get 1 Ancestral Recall, I guess. I guess we must be happy with the fact they only get 1 Ancestral Recall. Alright, so I do have Dryad Arbor plus Thalia block the Dreadhorde Arcanist. Not that that's a spectacular play. But it is a play we could make if we did so choose. Alright. It is not a play we're going to choose. The boarding in of 4 Swords to Plowshares and the resolution of Ancestral Recall does seem like an issue. 4 is a lot of Swords to Plowshares. You got it, homie. Though, if opponent just top decks lands, they don't have any draw spells currently. So there's still a chance. There is still a chance. Our hand was a little weak, and opponent's hand was pretty good, especially versus our deck. We kind of also drew in an awkward sequence where if we had drawn this mental misstep a turn earlier, the Thalia would have been swords to plowshares, but we would have been able to mental misstep the swords on the Deathrite Shaman, which would have kept this Dreadhorde Arcanist in check. Oh, that's a good play. So they're going to put the Merchant Scroll on the top of their deck to go get a dig through time. Reasonable play, yeah. Okay. They have enough mana? Yeah, they have enough mana. And they have a Swords to Plowshares. So that is a good card, but also not a good enough card, eh? How many Swords to Plowshares? What about a Wasteland? Oh, probably just want another Deathrite Shaman. So this Deathrite Shaman has to get Swords to Plowshared. Yeah, I don't see this ending well for us, but we can keep trying. Second days. That's just rude. And a Hull Breacher, sure. That is just so rude. All right, so opponent can tap 4 to pay dig through time. Oh, sorry, they have to get Merchant Scroll first. And then they're 1 mana short of dig through time unless they want to use the Swords to Plowshares. Oh, they got Gush. That makes way more sense. All right, I don't want to play anymore. All right. Do we change anything about what we were doing with our lives? Kind of want this Deafening Silence more than normal now. Where's the choke? Fair point. I don't think we should typically need it, but the 4 Swords to Plowshares is a concern. It is a concern. Maybe we should take another Spirit Guide out and play another Deafening Silence. I don't know if that's good. Let's try it. All right, we're going to game 3. We're on the play, which is quite important. Maybe we wanted the other Spirit Guide to play more. Ooh. Keep. This hand looks good. This hand has much better cards than the last hand. Cast this without paying mana. Strip Mine, Caracas, Deathrite Shaman, Titania. Probably just Deathrite Shaman. And I think I'm still supposed to play Deathrite Shaman on turn 1 over Deafening Silence. It's a lot stronger a play. Surgical the Swords. I mean, it's a possibility. You could choose to do such a thing. I don't really like that idea very much. I'm not in the Juan Anton camp of bringing in Surgical to stop Sword. Oh my god, they have the island in their hand. You hate to see it. You just hate to see it. You just hate. Oh my god. Sure. Ancestral Recall, eh? Yo. What up, Aaron? Yeah, I don't want to get dazed again. Let's play Deafening Silence. It's a little crap, but whatever. All right, we got the Force of Will. Let's. I guess what we can do is we can go get either a Dryad Arbor or an Elvish Reclaimer. Maybe we should play around. Yeah, let's play around Daze and just get a Dryad Arbor. We are very fair tonight, Aaron. We're playing a pig. Also a Titania, which has been pretty cool. I like Titania. But yeah, very fair. Very fair. About as fair as you could possibly get, actually. Yeah, I mean, I like this deck. It's cool, but it might be too fair. Opponent did have turn 1 Ancestral. A little hard to beat. They have another Swords of Plowshares. So we have the Wasteland. I'm gonna hit him with the end step Wasteland here to play around Gush. All right, okay. We don't have double white for prelate, but we do have a Deathrite Shaman and a Green Sun Zenith. I think I would rather just play a Deathrite Shaman than like Green Zenith for one, and then we don't have another Dryad Arbor, so we might as well just battle. So if we can get a prelate on one, I think that locks our opponent out of killing our creatures. So if we can draw like a cavern next turn on human and slam a prelate, I think that should be a winning play. Would be helpful at least. It's another Swords of Plowshares. A lot of Swords of Plowshares. A lot of Swords of Plowshares. Well, cavern. Emerald. Emerald is awkward. Emerald is awkward. Emerald is awkward. We don't have a lot of plays besides get another Deathrite Shaman. We can jam a Knight of the Reliquary here. That unfortunately does play into our opponent's days. But I think it's probably worth. Hell is that? Days? Why wouldn't you pick up the Tundra? Alright, we got wrecked by another Days. Continually wrecked on the by opponent playing Days on the draw. A classic. An absolute classic. Yeah. At least we got the Emerald down in time. Okay, Cavern, baby. Why would we draw Mental Misstep versus the Lavinia? Yo, just unfortunate. Just super, super unfortunate. Just terrible luck. Like, imagine if we draw this at any other point when they're playing a million Swords of Plowshares. Pretty sure we're supposed to get a Deathrite Shaman. So unfortunate. I do feel like this draw was quite unlucky. I think it would have been quite good before the Lavinia was put into play, but obviously after the Lavinia to Fairy. All right, well, this draw was just shit. You're gonna bounce the Deathrite Shaman. I think we're in trouble, chat. I think opponent's Ancestral Recall hand was a little bit too much for our fair deck. Which you hate to see. You truly hate to see it. I guess a Karakas draw is the best thing that can happen to us here. Karakas draw, kills Teferi, tempos out Lavinia. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Yeah, unfortunately, I just can't even mental misstep this. Unfortunately, just the opponent having turn 1 Island Ancestral Recall was just too much to deal with. Not good for the home team. This draw was so bad. Surprising opponent left in Lavinia, maybe just because it blocks. Not actually a very good card versus us, but I'm sure opponent has Treasure Cruise here, so all of their tempo disadvantage plays don't matter anymore because Delve exists. Because once you cast an Ancestral, you're allowed to cast many more Ancestrals. I really didn't think this matchup was particularly bad. Maybe we just haven't drawn super well, because we haven't drawn Cavern. I guess we drew Cavern in game 1, which was true. We didn't draw any Caverns. Like, a Cavern on Prelate on 1, obviously this Teferi is their only answer to that. Kind of unfortunate. But now opponent has an active Mystic Sanctuary, which is, of course, not a fair and balanced Magic card, and they're going to rebuy their Ancestral Recall, and we just lose. I do feel like we've been slighted by the mulliganer, by the shuffler. Opponent had an Ancestral. We didn't even play an Ancestral. Unfortunate. Opponent is only playing 5 removal spells. And they've had a bunch of swords as well. But yeah. Can't do shit. Opponent has 9 cards in hand, by the way. Cast Force of Will and Daze. And it just doesn't, and this doesn't matter. Just does not in the slightest matter. I really think this shell is abysmal. As in, not fun to play or play against, but so be it. I do like it when this deck loses to Dredge. It does make me happy. This is the reason why we don't have a Bayou in the deck, because casting Prelate is hard. I don't want to play this game anymore. My opponent has 7 cards in hand. It's just not worth playing anymore. So I won game 1, and they won both the other games. Submit. And we were the last round, yeah, we were the last round. So let's just jump into the next round. Not really worth playing out. Unfortunate. We just didn't see Cavern. Maybe we need to play more. I don't know. I do think that Cavern is probably the key to winning this matchup. Obviously, caverning a prelate on 1 is the end-all, be-all goal. I did cut the 4th prelate from the board, but having the prelate in our hand wasn't the problem. It was casting it. Opponent cast multiple Swords to Plowshares on our Deathrite Shaman, so we just never had a chance. And even if we did have a chance, they had a million forces, and we didn't have a Cavern, so it probably didn't matter. Oh, I should have cut the Tabernacle. That is definitely what I should have cut instead of one of the creatures. And we didn't draw it, so it didn't really didn't make a difference in that match, but definitely insight for next time we play. I totally forgot we had that to cut. But we definitely should have cut that.